Welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha, a podcast shared by David Roylance. This podcast is dedicated to guiding you to completely eliminate the discontent mind and the suffering it causes by attaining enlightenment. Learn and practice the teachings of Gotama Buddha that will guide you to fully attain a peaceful, calm, serene, and content mind with joy. To support this podcast, visit patreon.com/support Buddha or visit buddhadailywisdom.com, where you will discover a full range of courses, retreats, and online learning resources to assist you on the path to enlightenment. Now, here's our teacher to share more.
Sawadee Kap. Hello and welcome to Daily Wisdom, Walking the Path with the Buddha. Today is our group learning program, and I'm helping you to understand Chapter 2 from our book, Why Study Gotama Buddha's Teachings. That's what we're actually going to be talking about today. The way that we start each one of our classes is we start with a meditation. So I'd like to invite all of you guys to join for meditation. And then afterwards, we're going to have a nice discussion where we do this class a little bit differently than we've done all the others. This is an opportunity for us to be able to have a nice discussion together. I'll explain to you guys why I do it this way once we get done with our meditation. So as you guys know, I do the chanting to ease us into the meditation. Then there's going to be some guidance. There'll be a period of time where it's just quiet. And then we'll come out of the meditation with some more chanting. And then that's where we'll start today's class. So I'd like to welcome all of you, whether you're joining for the first time or you're joining regularly, and welcome to anybody who's on Facebook, YouTube, or in Zoom, or maybe even you're listening to this on the replay. So again, I'm going to start with the chanting, which you guys are welcome to join in on, and then I'll come back in with the guidance. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Bhutang Bhagavanhang Abhivateyami Savakato Bhagavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅkho Saṅghang Namami Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Iti piso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang sammuno Sagato rokavitu Anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa manusanang Bhutto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect, just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here you're just looking to establish the breath, a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these affirmations in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May Mom and Dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May my family, friends, neighbors, and co-workers all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who have harmed me be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be well. May all beings be free of discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. Now return back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธมะเขวาโพตังมะเขวันนังอภิวาเตมิสวากขาโตมหาเขวัตตาธัมโมดามังนามาสามิสุปฏิปันโนมหาเขวัตโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนับโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมหะเขวาอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิจาจารณังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามานุสรังพุทโธภาควาติ If you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation, once again, I'd like to welcome all of you guys to our class today. Nice to see everyone in class. Welcome. Today is our group learning program, and we're studying chapter 2 in our book, which is titled Developing a Life Practice, The Path That Leads to Enlightenment. This chapter is titled Why Study Gotama Buddha's Teachings. And typically what I'm doing is I'm actually sharing the teachings from the book and helping you guys to understand things that are even beyond what's in the actual book. But today, the way that I teach this class is a little bit different, because if you've been reading the book and if you've read this chapter 2 or you plan to read chapter 2, you already know what I share in terms of why study Gotama Buddha's teachings. Instead, what I've been doing here for the last 6 weeks is sharing these teachings and teaching you in a traditional method. Instead, the way that I do this particular class is I kind of lead a discussion with you guys. That now is an opportunity where you guys have been learning with each other throughout the last 6 weeks, and give you guys a chance, whether you're in Zoom or Facebook or YouTube, to interact with each other and kind of share a little bit about yourself and why is it that you've chosen to study the teachings of the Buddha. Because like I shared, if you've read the book or you plan to read the book, you already understand why I'm sharing that it's important to study the teachings of the Buddha. Because during the lifetime of the Buddha, there was really only one reason to study his teachings, and that was to get to enlightenment, to end discontentedness, to get to the point where the mind's completely peaceful and joyful. And maybe that is one of the reasons why you've studied, but maybe you would like to talk about, where you're from, what you do on a daily basis, what is it that brought you to the path to enlightenment? What are the kinds of things that you've been learning, perhaps? This is an opportunity for us to all to get to know each other. And if you're in Facebook or YouTube and you normally join that way, and if you'd like to come into Zoom and get to meet some of the people that are here, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. This is a great opportunity for you to open up your camera and say hello to everybody and let people see who you are, and that there's this being on the other side of this little name that is plastered across our Zoom screen. So what I'm going to do here in a moment is just kind of turn things over to all of you guys to be able to raise your hand electronically and decide that you would like to volunteer to share a bit about yourself and, maybe your name, where you're from, what do you do regularly, what are some of your hobbies, what are the things you're into, what is it that brought you to the path to enlightenment, why is it that you study the teachings of the Buddha. And like I mentioned, for those of you guys in Facebook or YouTube, if you would like to come into Zoom, you're more than welcome to do that, because the way to log into Zoom is right there in the comment section of Facebook and of YouTube. And if you decide not to come into Zoom, that's okay too. If you would like to still participate, you can put the same types of things that we're going to be talking about here. You can put it into the comment section and I'll read it for you. But it's always nice to kind of meet everybody and get a chance to know each other. So is there anybody in Zoom that would like to share with us and kind of talk a little bit, open up your mic and say hello to your fellow classmates? Okay, I had a feeling it would be Ted or Kristen that would speak up.
Oh, come on. How you doing? I'm Ted. Someone's got to be first, right? I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind is born and raised in Connecticut, down in Florida now with my wife, Kristen. And the only thing I could share is I've been on a spiritual journey for quite a while to remedy alcohol and drugs. And when we went to Thailand and met you at the temple for meditation, which is part of what I was doing, it opened up a whole nother world. And everything that you were sharing, David, was clicking. And it's like, wow, this it's kind of what I'm doing times 1,000. And it allows me to go way, way deeper than I ever thought. And it's really attraction as opposed to promotion. Your teachings and the Buddha teachings really just lit me up on the inside, and I look forward to learning more and journeying down the road. So that's me.
Yeah, maybe can I ask you a few questions, Ted? And then maybe Kristen would like to share too.
Sure.
Yeah, so when was it that you came to Thailand that first time and we actually met?
Last June.
Okay.
June of 24.
Okay, so a little bit over a year. And in that time frame, what are some of the things that you've been doing to learn the teachings of the Buddha?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. I think really trying to develop my meditation practice, which I think in turn allows me a bigger window, a bigger pause, as opposed to me reacting and conducting myself as I normally would, almost instinctively, to trying to change and incorporate some of the teachings, right speech, right action, and just overall, it seems like such a better way. And I'm sorry I can't elaborate a little bit more. I still feel like a beginner.
That's okay, that's fine. What are some of the challenges that you've met along the way, and how have you overcome those?
That right here, this is my challenge between my ears. I think, again, my ego, my pride is really what gets in the way, and just living a certain way for so many years, again, is just my first reaction to things. That is a challenge, to switch from just instinctively reacting to pausing and trying to incorporate a new way. Yeah, that would be it.
Okay. And in that 1 year time frame, would you say that there's been any progress and that you've seen any improvement? And if so, what kinds of things have you seen?
Maybe you should ask my wife that. No, I think yeah, it's been pretty amazing. Although I think I'm geared toward instant gratification. It almost seems like the American way anyway, which is sad, but we're finding that meditation takes practice. The path to enlightenment takes a lot of practice, but I am absolutely seeing a change in my general direction and how I go through any given day or any given moment seems to have altered a bit, all for the better, in my opinion. But again, that's my narrative that I write in my head. I'm sure the acid test would be Kristen giving a full report.
What kinds of things have you seen, Ted, that you feel like have improved?
Patience, tolerance, understanding, personal existence view, and how that really dictated a lot of my actions or feelings on things. And dialing that down really just puts a different light on things. The importance of self that I've created, whereas I'm trying to cut that off and let it go, I think is another big thing. That's all I'm coming up with, though. I'm sorry.
No, the sound, whatever you say is fine. I know, of course, some of the things that you guys have talked with me about privately that I wouldn't talk about publicly unless you guys brought it up. But, there's been a few things that you guys have done recently that I think you've had a lot more success with than what you would have maybe experienced in the past. So it's really wonderful to know about your progress, and very pleased that you guys have had an opportunity to learn over the last 1 year.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Your hands down. So does that mean that Ted's done and Kristen is not volunteering? I'm not interested in putting Kristen on the spot, but I would like to at least give you an opportunity to talk if that was your plan.
Can you hear me from this distance?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone. My name's Kristen, and I met David. I met you at the same time Ted did in Thailand last year. And I think at that point in my life when we met, I had been going through a lot of new changes. I had just left my job without any prospect of work in the future. I just decided I was going to basically blow up my life, quit my job, and try something new. But I didn't know exactly what that looked like. So we took this trip to Thailand, and I figured take a little time off, kind of reset, because I was in that living life, right? So I was having these highs and lows and highs and lows, and not realizing that I was living in discontentedness. I didn't have a word for it. So before Thailand, I was just trying to get through life the best I could, trying to make good decisions, some good, some not so good, and just trying to navigate the best I could. And when we met you and went to the temple and we heard about the teachings, like Ted, it was just this sort of light bulb that went off that was like, wow, there's actual path here. There's steps that I can take. There's lessons that I can learn to have more wisdom so that I can actually not live in this constant discontentedness. And that seemed so attractive. And you said it was possible if I just practiced, right? And so that's sort of when we got back from Thailand, we started logging in and we did the 7 months with you with this program, the learning program. And so I decided just to do it again because it was so beneficial and it helped me in so many ways with just my relationships, the way that I see the world, the decisions that I make, the fears that have always held me back. I'm able to now let go of and do things that I never thought were possible. And just, I feel like I'm in a good place and I want to just keep learning and practicing and trying to gain more and more wisdom every day. So that's sort of how I got here.
Sounds great. Can I ask you some questions too? Yeah, it'll be similar to Ted. I'm curious, what were some of the challenges, and I'm asking these questions for the benefit of other students, of course, what were some of the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome those challenges? Because some students have only been studying for 6 weeks or a month or 2, and anything that you can share that you've encountered that was a challenge and how you overcame that.
I think the big one for me was personal existence view, and it's one I still struggle with. But worrying so much about what people thought really held me back from doing things that I was just afraid to make, it kind of put myself out there. Talking right now would have been an absolute, I would have had so much anxiety just doing this right now, sharing and kind of, in a way, exposing myself was terrifying because of judgment and worrying so much about what people thought. And through the practice and learning that everything's impermanent, that everything's constantly changing, and that I'm changing, and that I can't worry and try to I can't control everything, can't control people and what they think. I can only just do what I know is right. And so that following like the Eightfold Path helped, learning about the Four Noble Truths, that all of my discontentedness comes from me, and that it's not the outside world, it's not the people around me, that I'm creating it in my own mind, was and is pretty amazing, because then I can kind of, decide how I'm going to feel from moment to moment, because it's really up to me if I want to hang on to something or do I want to let it go. It's really how I'm receiving and sort of processing what's going on in my own mind. So that's been huge and helpful. That was the first step, is understanding that. And then practicing the Eightfold Path for me was a big one, was right speech, learning how to communicate better with people, and understanding, like with Ted, and like there's times when we would normally argue about something, and now I just kind of stay quiet and we'll step back and not say anything and just kind of let it pass, and then later we'll come back and discuss it and understand where we were both in that moment. Like it just happened yesterday, actually. And I was just quiet and I just sort of let him do his thing, and I went in the other room, and later he said, "Is everything okay?" And I said, "Yeah, everything's fine." And then we talked about what was in the moment. Was we were watching a shark show, and the sharks were killing dolphins, and I couldn't stand watching it. So I just kept saying, "I can't watch this." But he was really into it and kept watching it. So I decided, it's okay, you can continue watching it, but I'm just going to leave the room. Right. And so like, I didn't have to make him change the channel, or it didn't become an issue. It's just like, no, I could just leave the room. So I don't know, something as simple as that, I wouldn't have done a year ago. I think I would have said, no, we have to change the channel, and I would have probably just changed the channel.
I don't condone killing dolphins, by the way. It was just an interesting National Geographic show.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
So I don't know. I guess the Eightfold Path is, I now am seeing more and more how each decision that I make, if I'm using the tools, then I can make better and better decisions. And sometimes they're not always the right ones. But I see when they're wrong, because I immediately feel it, and then I can try to correct it with an apology or just something along those lines to kind of come back. I don't know if I answered that question.
Yeah, you did, and you kind of even gave us a little report on Ted too, just kind of a little bit, since he was offering that.
Can I add one more thing, David? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what I think really, and I hate to use the word sold me on this, but because I'm a skeptic, I'm cynical. I always think there's a catch to things, unfortunately. But independently verifying, you teach it to us as though I'm not selling you this, I'm not asking you to believe in this. I would like you to independently verify for yourself if this is a truth for you, or if this works for you, or contributes to your wisdom. And that was like, hands down, okay, let's do this thing, as opposed to, believing in something that I haven't even experienced yet, which is a stretch for me. But that was such an awesome thing that you taught us to do, or if we chose to do.
Yeah, definitely. That's what the Buddha teaches, and that's what would be wise for every practitioner. So I'm pleased that you guys were able to learn that, and that you're actually choosing to do it. So that's great for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing. Appreciate your coming to class and being diligent in your studies and sharing some information with us. I see that Ray has his hand up, but Slav, you had your hand up at one point too. Did you change your mind?
No, I didn't change my mind.
Oh, okay. Maybe your hand just got put down. So I'll come to you, since I think you were right before Ray, and then after that we'll go to Ray. So what do you have to share, Slav? So maybe you could share, who you are, where you live, some details about your background.
I'm original from Ukraine, capital city of Kiev. I moved to United States 30 years ago. Fortunately, I was introduced to Buddhism when I was in college. I come from service. I used to be on the war between Russia and Afghan. And I meet some psychologists, and we decided to create some club for people who was on the war and have some post-traumatic syndrome. And basically, he was apply his knowledge of Buddhism. I did not know the difference, but seems to me it was kind of like more Mahayana style, more close to Zen something. But at least it was help for some people. I moved to United States 30 years ago, and I meet some Theravada monk, and I used to try to study with them, but it's a little bit complicated because it was two different things. For lay people, it's very line, and for monk community, usually lay people just come to meditation, and it was constantly all hour meditation. It was guided meditation. You're not able even have time concentrate, but at least on the side I able to learn something. Satipatthana Sutta, Anapanasati Sutta. I was introduced to Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. It doesn't mean I understand. It doesn't mean I really practice, but I was introduced. And I don't know, when I met you 3 years ago, I come across your programs on the site, and I was very amazing how you present this very deeply. You have to investigate, you have to understand. And all time when I have some personal question, I always contact you. You reapply through email. You have personal time on Zoom. Yes, I never meet you in real life, not yet, but at least you always was supporting, and every question you was answered according to the Buddha teaching. Go to do Eightfold Path, and you have to understand very deeply. You have to apply, you have to practice, and it's according to what Buddha teaching. You always try to make us at least apply to life. It's very amazing, and I really appreciate what you've done for me and for people.
Yeah, you're welcome. Pleased to help you. Have you had any specific challenges along the way that you can share that you experienced?
Yes, recently I didn't contact you. Recently, I don't know what's happened. A few months ago, I started to lose totally interest to study Dharma. Yes, I still do meditation, but for example, if I did hour in morning and hour in evening, my meditation become 10-15 minutes only in morning, and it's totally lost interest. I send you email, ask what to do. You right away, like Buddha teach, right effort. You have to push yourself. You have to don't give up. Just do it. Overcome. And I starting do what you tell me. And seems to me my energy level for in curiosity starting come back again. And today in the morning was my sitting 40 minutes. Yesterday before I go to bed 45 minutes. And for maybe 2-3 months, first time I open your book and starting read again.
Excellent.
It was my first time very big challenge, and usually kind of surprised. I was very dedicated, no matter what. But I don't know what's happened. I guess life.
Yeah, so you were having challenges with complacency, and you weren't meditating very much, you weren't studying very much, and you reached out for help. That was the way you overcame it, is you seek guidance from a teacher. And then I shared with you what you needed to do to overcome that complacency. And now you're implementing those things, which are from the Buddha. And now it's working to help you to be able to rise up your energy and get more time during your meditation and actually start to participate in classes and read the book. So this is perfect. You're applying what the Buddha taught. So great.
Yeah, you point me to this direction. It's very important. You not give me some baloney, like, I don't know, like, some people, even Buddhist people, kind of like from some tradition, they go around the bushes and doesn't even able to describe when you ask them questions. So, and I like your approach is straight up, applicable, and it's have Buddha words behind you. Awesome.
Yeah.
God bless you guys.
Yeah. Pleased to help you, Slav. Okay, so it looks like Ray is interested in volunteering. So, Ray, if you'd like to go next, you're more than welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Ray Rios. I'm 68 years old, retired. I currently live in Utah, United States, if you're not familiar. I came to Teachings of Buddha about a year and a half ago through a lady friend that I met online. And since then, we've developed a loving, long-term relationship and started studying Thich Nhat Hanh, which was introduced to me by this lady, and it really resonated within me. And I can relate to a lot of what Ted and Kristen was saying about, I just had to find a better way to live. The three poisons that plagued me pretty much all my life since I was young. Didn't have any abuse in the home, but at a young age, my mother committed suicide and kind of set me on a path of destruction, self-destruction with alcohol and drugs, and, which eventually led to, sabotaging. I've allowed to sabotage my relationships. Previous marriages, I was married 3 times, and I had 3 beautiful children through those marriages, so I don't consider them a failure, but I failed them in a lot of ways, but still have a really good relationship with my daughters, thankfully. And I thank my inner strength, and now I thank Buddha and the teachings of Buddha for helping me realize that I can overcome a lot of the things that I allowed to destroy a lot of joy and contentment in my life. The 3 poisons of craving, anger, and ignorance are becoming alleviated in my mind. I've overcome alcoholism. I've overcome being the cravings and desires and attachments to cannabis. And that was just in the last 6 months. The drinking I stopped over 12 years ago, but the cannabis stayed with me for a long time, and was a source of discontentment, even though I thought it was something that brought me joy and happiness. But it was rooted in so deep that I couldn't see. But being on the path to enlightenment, after discovering, your interpretations of Buddha's word, David, really helped me to see that this path is the one that has helped me become a better person. And if Kathy was here, my significant other, who I consider my life partner now, she would attest to the changes in me since studying and practicing the teachings of Buddha and developing my daily practice. Is one thing that still needs development, things that I still need to be more consistent in doing. Meditations are getting deeper. My mind's clearer. My path is brighter. And I've seen a lot of growth in me, and as far as being more cognizant of what I do and what I say and how I say it, and looking at right view first and right thinking, and allowing that to germinate and create a better outcome in what I say and what I do and how I text and things of that nature, and how I relate to everybody in general. I've always thought of myself as a generous person, but I really wasn't. I was pretty selfish. But through the last year and a half, I've seen my generosity grow in loving other beings and looking at them more compassionately and sharing the resources that I do have with those less fortunate or that just need help. And I'm just thankful for, teachers like Thich Nhat Hanh, who I've read deeply, and your interpretation of Buddha's word, David, has really helped me. And I consider you my teacher right now. I haven't joined a Sangha yet, but it's in my plans. And I've been a little complacent in doing the other things that I really need to be doing. But I see it as a journey, as a gradual journey, that I can't be too hard on myself. I need to give myself some slack, but stay on the path. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, that's great, Ray. And you're just getting started with this program. So if you've already learned a lot, you got a lot more to go, because we've got another 6 months ahead of us to be able to share. And then after that, there's more. There's Pali, Canon, and English study group, and the courses and retreats. So you'll get a chance to learn a lot. And I think you basically covered everything that I usually ask students. So I don't know that I really have any questions for you.
Okay.
But yeah, you did a great job just kind of exploring everything. So thanks for sharing what you had to share.
Yeah, I look forward to further teachings of the Buddha and working with you and the rest of the folks here. I just want to tell you, I send you positive energy and loving kindness to everybody here.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. And by the way, joining a community, that's what a Sangha is a community. There isn't really anything official that you need to do with that. Like, this is a community. We have an international community all over the world. So you can, if you like, consider yourself part of a community, because there's thousands and thousands of people that are studying this collection of teachings from the Buddha all over the world. So you might consider yourself already part of a community if you like. All right. Is there anyone else in Zoom that would like to share anything that you guys would like to talk about? Okay. I'm not seeing anything anywhere, and I don't see anything in YouTube or Facebook either. Well, if you guys don't have anything else you would like to share, I just guess I'll end class here by thanking all of you guys for studying up to this point, and let you know that there's a whole lot more to be able to learn and grow and develop going forward. We got another 6 months of learning and growing. Each week I'm going to be covering a chapter in the book, where next week we're going to be in chapter 3, which is titled Enlightenment. What is enlightenment? Then chapter 4 is going to be the Four Noble Truths, which is the very beginning of the Eightfold Path. Chapter 5 is going to be the Eightfold Path. Then we're going to learn the Middle Way, this 5 precepts, the 3 poisons, the natural law of Dhamma, what is merit, meditation training. We're going to be going through the real heart of the book over the next kind of 2 months, and really diving in again, because we already started with the Eightfold Path at the beginning of this program, but now we're going to go through it again, essentially with some additional things that you guys haven't necessarily been exposed to yet. And then we're going to really get into some things after that as well. So there's plenty to learn. And if you guys are reading the book and coming to classes and then developing your life practice outside of class, this is going to be really helpful for you. So studying the Eightfold Path and really ingraining that in your mind to be able to know it and memorize it is so important. And always remember that you can reach out for help. You can ask questions in these live classes. You can post on our Facebook group. You can send me a private message, or you can schedule personal guidance, and I'm here to help you, because it's one thing to learn in these classes, but it's a whole other thing relating it to your specific challenges in your day-to-day life. So you're always welcome to reach out for help. So that's what we're going to be doing over the coming weeks, is really diving into each individual chapter on Sundays. And then on Wednesdays, I'm going to be still developing the meditation practice with you guys and helping you to learn chanting here in a couple of weeks. And we'll just keep growing along the way and giving you guys a chance to get to know each other here in Zoom and through our online community. You guys are welcome to interact with each other and get to know each other, because that's a beneficial aspect of being in a community like this, is that you're around a lot of people who are into wholesome things and interested in doing wonderful things in the world. And you guys are spread out all over the world, so you have an opportunity to meet people that are from all over the world and have relationships with people who are also interested in cultivating the mind and developing their wisdom of the teachings of the Buddha. So again, thank you all for joining. Thank you for any support that you're using to support me and sharing the teachings with you. Thank you for helping me to be able to help you. And I have a lot more to share with you as we go forward in the next 6 months or so. So whatever you choose to do today, have a very wonderful and lovely rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Take care. Sawadee ka.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To provide support for this podcast, visit patreon.com/support Buddha. To access more teachings, visit buddhadailywisdom.com. There, you will discover a full range of courses, retreats, and online resources to assist you on the path to enlightenment. Remember to establish a daily, consistent meditation practice, along with learning and practicing these teachings. A well-developed meditation practice is the foundation in which to train the mind to attain enlightenment.